Here we are, bottom of the Smash Mountain. I would like to thank all my Patreon supporters at patreon.com/bsmpod for continuing to support me in what I'm doing. Big shouts out to my senior producers, Ventus Official, and my mom and dad. Thank you all for the support. Thank you, everybody. Love you all. Thank you. I'm very happy. And also, there's a lot of emotions, but I'm always happy to see you, Kevin. This is PewPewU, and no longer with CLG because of the recent news. Just in this past week, so many things have happened around CLG, but in effect being no more. And so a lot of emotions tonight. But Kevin, thank you first and foremost for joining me. So please, by all means, what comes to mind first as we get into this?
What's up? Thanks for having me again. This thing says the director has muted you, or am I still good? Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I muted you because I didn't want you to come through twice. You would be echoing twice.
Oh, got it. Okay, you're much smarter than I am.
No, that's okay. No one's ever told me that before. Actually, you're the first person to point that out. I didn't even know you could see I muted you. So, but you're coming through. Your audio level is great. So
okay,
you're all set.
Good. I mean, thanks for having me on again, Jesse. It's like a annual thing at this point now, which means it's been like 2 years, 3 years since I retired. 2 years since I retired.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I can see time has appearances on the BSM pod. And thanks for having me.
It's great to have you back on. We talked shortly after you retired in 2021, and then we had a great reason to talk again around Gen Assist when Genesis 8 in 2022 had to postpone, and we were able to contribute a little bit to that fundraising stream. And then now it does remind me of those moments, those pillar moments in the Melee community in an overarching way. There are call to actions, big community uniting, overarching occurrences where everyone goes, okay, this is the way things are now, or we need to respond to this. Of course, the most classic example in recent times has been Beyond the Summit having to shut down BTS running its last Smash event, which sadly was an Ultimate one. Am I selfish by wishing it were Melee? But it's all good because Ultimate had a great bracket, and that was a crazy losers run. It was still a really fun tournament to watch, but I was shocked, like everybody else, seeing the news starting to come out around CLG. So I don't want to make that just the sole focus of today. You know, I hope to maybe ask you about another music recommendation, because the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is still something that I listen to every now and again, the whole album, because you gave that to me last time.
Today, so when you come with that question, I've already got my answer.
Wow, you can either lay it out now, or we can save it for the end, whichever you want to do, Kevin.
Let's save it. You know, the people will have to tune in and make sure that they stick around to hear my music recommendation.
You're the S tier of music recommendations. Absolutely, yes, you are.
Thank you. I've also been listening to the Stevie Wonder song as well.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Overjoyed. Yes.
Yeah, Overjoyed. But yeah, I mean, this week's been crazy. I think like the general esports news outlets kind of let everyone know pretty much only like 3 hours after like the whole not the whole staff, but everyone but the League of Legends staff within CLG, that they were being let go, which is crazy because there was no real like writing on the wall or anything like that. It was essentially just that day we were notified that there was going to be an acquisition and all of our positions were terminated, which is just a crazy one. And obviously, I mean, you know, I've been on the team for so long. I was 6 years as a player, 2 years as a staffer. So 8 years of my life, all of my 20s has been spent on this team pretty much. I joined the team when I was 21. I'm 29 now. So it's been a crazy few days, a flurry of emotions for sure. And just, you know, like I'm just unemployed now, so shit is a little different. You know, I gotta count my money a little bit better and be a little bit more responsible and yeah.
And then thinking about trying to find a job out there, because it's tough for esports specifically, but we don't have to talk about job
Right.
searching because you'll be having to think about that in general. I want to ask
Yeah.
you questions about being around CLG. One of the things that I really liked from your thread, one thing that resonated with me was buying into the culture of a workplace that you really enjoyed and the people that you enjoyed working with, because
Right.
I have been able to work in times past at places where I felt like I understood that the people bought into the mission statement of the company and we were all enjoying being around each other and working together as a team and getting through each day. And
Hmm.
this unfortunately was my first job, so it was not the one that was going to support me and my family. This like the summer job type thing, but that's
Uh-huh.
probably some of the most fun that I ever had going to work, was realizing, oh yeah, this is super cool. We're just like a bunch of 16-year-olds with a couple of 20 somethings and like a mom dad type age manager, but we all had fun. It was super fun. It sucks when you look back and realize, oh, that's still among some of the best work times and experiences that I've ever had. So the way that you made it sound in the thread that you put onto Twitter yesterday, you made it sound like CLG was absolutely that for you.
Definitely. 100%. I mean, the company and the people itself, like, all were running on like pure passion and like just an obsession with the lifestyle. And it wasn't like uh it was still a job, but it was something that like everyone was like very passionate about and like, could be fully passionate toward. And just knowing also that like we our work wasn't just about like making money. It was also about like helping like young professional aspiring like esports athletes like A, get their foot in the door as new competitors, or B, like help them grow further from what they already have. um and I especially feel for the Smash and fighting game team, because this kind of felt like it was something really new and it was really fresh. I mean, it kind of felt like a second lifetime for a lot of them for getting, a big like tier one organization sponsorship and all these things. And like, in addition to that, like the product that we had, which was the Run It product, the weekly tournaments, it was like very, very successful. Um, so it sucks that the FGC team wasn't like a part of that whole thing. And I feel for the players more than anyone. Obviously, the staff as well, because I was very close to all of them. But it just sucks, man. It sucks that people who are so passionate don't get to have a say in this. And in addition, it was so fast, like insanely, insanely fast. That Monday was like a whirl, and it was just wild.
I feel like it's not a surprise when you were talking near the start. You were talking about how like the people reporting on Twitter and like, oh, CLG is going to be shutting down within a few hours of the staff being informed of this. It's because it's of how sudden it is. I like, who do you go to first to talk about that kind of stuff, and then the word of mouth goes, and then people start reporting about it. But
Right.
you have to, because again, I feel like on Mondays of all days, because it's happened to me before, losing a job on a Monday, I've already mentally prepared for a whole week of work and a whole week
Right.
of plans and doing everything. It starts there, and then you realize, well, I'm not only having to deal with the fact that I'm not working this week, am I going to be out of work for a few months, or how long is this going to be for? It's the fact that when you've gone for so long, for you and for others within CLG, I get the impression that there's more than a few people who've been there for 5+ years,
Yeah,
or since
definitely.
2014, 2015. So these are people who you could spend the next 8, 9 years kind of mentally unplugging. And I don't want to compare it to a relationship, but what reminds me of that is I was in a relationship for 5.5 years throughout high school and a little bit afterwards, and then one day I get dumped and it's over. And I remember when it was officially our 5-year anniversary breakup, and going, I don't know if I fully wrapped my head around it. It's such a weird thing to say. We've been broken up for
Uh,
5+ years now, but because of that relationship lasting that long, I almost had to like in some weird dark corner of my brain unplug for that long. I don't know. Maybe that you relate to that in a different way, but since this
yeah.
news is so fresh, you can't possibly be that far with CLG.
Uh, I mean, I don't I don't even know where I'm at in the process of processing. Um, but what I can say is like largely it feels more like grieving than anything. Like it feels like this collective of people and also this thing that like I put so much into is just like gone and like it can never I can never go back to it. In a weird way, it kind of felt like when I lost in my senior year high school badminton tournament. And in my junior year, I made it all the way to the stage right before it was like, the state tournament. And this time I got stopped like an entire two tournaments before that. And it's like you feel like you have so much left and like you just have to move on. There's no way you can go back to it. Like it's obviously different being a high school sport versus like a whole ass company, but in that regard, it's like you're past the point of no return. Um, what's weird for me is I always imagined when I was leaving the company, I was either gonna get let go or I was gonna leave, but CLG was still gonna exist, and
Yeah.
I was gonna cheer for my players, because I managed so many players. I'm gonna cheer for them, gonna cheer for the company and everything. And now it's just like, man, like I can't cheer for anything. I can never go back there. It's tough. Uh, Also, we talked about, or you talked briefly about like people being there for a while. Another shocker about this was like we were owned by Madison Square Garden. So like we felt the stability of the company was like very strong. It's not like by one venture capitalist who's suddenly just like, I'm done playing with this esports toy.
Yeah.
Uh this time around it was like uh it's just crazy because we see all the tech industries like failing and bank runs and then also like other esports organizations shrinking, and I always felt like there was a possibility that I could get let go, but I never imagined it would just be like a straight up like acquisition and like the whole shit is just like
Do you feel as if there's a level of betrayal, or is it just simply you're backed into a
no.
corner and there's nothing that can happen other than what happens?
I don't see it that way. I don't see it as like betrayal or anything. I think some other employees might feel that way. I can't like speak for them, but like me personally, like I see it like just as a business decision. Uh, and it sucks. It does feel a little heartless, but like I also recognize that MSG is so enormous and like CLG was kind of just like a tiny little cog in the whole thing. And so like, you know, there's one way that you could take it very personally, being like, they don't care about us, blah, blah, blah. But to me, it's just like, this is a business thing. It's natural. I'm not like offended by any of this. And, if it was the right business move, then so be it.
But I still feel so for me, I haven't had a big loyalty streak to. I maybe it's not fair to say any esport organization because I mean when Zane gets signed to Moist Mogul, I'm going. I guess just a ginormous Moist Mogul fan now, but. I
Yep.
think about something like CLG, which had been around for a very long time, and there's lore, there's history, and there's a very
Definitely.
recognizable, strong brand within the esports communities that CLG is present in, and that's the part that I have a hard time reconciling with is there no belief in it? It makes me think of if anyone who owns the Philadelphia Eagles tries to change the name, tries to move the team out of town, you think that anybody in Philadelphia is going to be happy about that? No, because we know that's our team. You can't
For
just
sure.
sell it and dissolve, or acquire and dissolve. And that's the part that I think, just from my own perspective, I'm sad about, because I go, if CLG's getting acquired, why isn't that name and that logo sticking around in some capacity, even if it has to change? That's the part that I get sad
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, see, the thing is, there the difference that I see with like the Eagles or something like that is like the Eagles is like the premier brand of whoever is the owner. I don't know who
Sure.
owns the Eagles.
No, it's okay.
Um,
It's all good.
but like we are just like a subsidiary of MSG. Their primary brand is like the New York Knicks and the Rangers. So like I can understand like this decision because it feels like such a drop in the ocean to like these capitalist overlords. And that's just how it is. So like it definitely sucks like being absorbed and like Twitter handle is gone, like I can't go back to the facility, things like that. Like there is a sense of like permanent erasure, which fucking sucks. uh but I understand MSG's point of view on it, so I can't fault them in that regard.
Here's what you can still do, though. You still have the jersey, even if you didn't. Reading
True.
that tweet, that probably tore me up really badly as well. Just, you had this regret of not wearing it at NorCal Classic too, but
Yeah,
you have the jersey, and you have the Melee in your hand still. And I want to ask you about getting back into Melee, because I know, because
for
you're
sure.
such a competitor, Kevin, which I love, that you took it seriously. You didn't just show up the day of and go, let's see if our controller works, let's plug it in. I haven't plugged this in a while.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
practiced for at least a month out of that
Yes,
tournament,
I did.
streaming and doing everything. So even despite what's going on with CLG right now, being acquired, shutting down and dissolving, and but not permanently disappearing, because some of the ways that you expressed yourself and worked and flourished and had success was not just through the brand, but also through yourself and what you could do around Melee,
Yeah.
especially. And then of course the skills that you've acquired doing marketing and all of that other stuff. I don't want to say the wrong word there, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so for context, well, actually, first thing I want to talk about the jersey. Shout out to my boss, former boss, Greg Kim. That guy's fucking amazing. He was unfortunately also let go, which is unfortunate. But I told him the other day when we were raiding in World of Warcraft, I was like, "Why didn't you make me put the jersey on?" And he was like, "Dude, you said like you didn't want to put it on." And he's like, and I know you're superstitious. I wasn't gonna change anything. I was like, oh, I respect that a lot. Like, I really respect that, because I am really superstitious, especially when competing. I have like a very, very, very rigid routine that I always stick to. Uh, and speaking of a routine, getting ready for the tournament was fucking amazing. Brandon had invited me to this tournament. He let me know that it was happening a little bit after Genesis. So like I kind of knew like 2-ish months out that this was like possibly going to be happening. Um, and so I only trained for about a month, despite knowing that it was coming 2 months out, because I was like looking for a goal. I was not gonna practice until I had like a goal in mind to play. And so it took me about a month of like rummaging through my feelings about how I wanted to do things. And then when I finally realized what I wanted to do, then I felt ready to play. And it was awesome. I loved like getting back on the grind, getting back on the horse, re-tapping into like my network of players and like organizing sessions. Pretty much the 2 weeks leading up to the tournament was like go to work, go to the gym every other day, and then play Melee until midnight. Sleep, go to work, go to gym every other day, play Melee. And it was like incredible.
It reminded you of the you wouldn't have necessarily, you wouldn't have done marketing as a CLG player back in those times, but you felt the nostalgia for sure. And then also, did you
Oh,
feel,
definitely.
did you feel, did you feel while also getting back into this and feeling that rush of, oh, this feels fresh. Did you also feel during this time as if you understood this is why I'm going to be ramping down after this is all over, because it's different now. The life that I lead now does not allow for this to be a long-term thing, because everybody
Yeah.
gets excited. I see these people on Reddit not quite understanding why you're competing again. They're going, I guess PewPewU is back. No, I mean, not necessarily.
Do they say that? I'm never on Reddit, so I
No,
actually
it's
don't
okay.
know.
It's okay. It's just people
Okay.
going, I guess PewPewU's back, and I'm going, I'm probably, it's just,
Incorrect.
settle down
Very
a little
incorrect.
bit.
But like on the topic of ramping down, like I didn't have a plan for after the tournament. So like when the tournament finished, I was like, well, what the fuck do I do now? Like I'm in the best Melee shape of my life in like since like 3 years ago, or like maybe even 3.5 years ago. So um yeah, I don't know. But like my like life balance was like fucking horrible. Not to say I was like boiling over or I was miserable, because I fucking loved it. But like, like my whole day is work and then play, and then sleep and then work and then play.
Right,
Um
exactly. So you were understanding this. I'm just curious to like how much you realize, oh, like I'm gonna be happy when this is over, or were you still dreading the tournament being over, like during the day of and that
oh
kind of thing?
no, I wasn't really thinking about it like that. Like I
Mm.
I was like blissfully ignorant to my feelings. I was just like so focused on the process, which was dope. And I actually think like this time getting ready for the tournament was like top three in terms of like how I prepared for a tournament. Like lifetime. Like I think I was much more patient with myself. Like I was willing to like ramp up like crazy because I knew like it was a one and done essentially. All these things, and like targeted practice and all that shit. It was fucking awesome, man. It was magnificent. And now I'm here. I'm just like playing unranked. I'm like destroying people and getting destroyed occasionally. And
Mhm.
I'm just like, fuck, man. Like I want to play again, but like I need a fucking job.
That's the struggle. Well, you also got to play Zane as well, right? You got to
Oh,
keep
I did.
Zane. You got to keep Zane away from going to major upset. Sometimes I
Yes.
wonder.
So he was. It's funny that you mentioned the Moist Moguls thing. He was in LA to film the Moist Moguls stuff,
Yep.
and he was supposed to go out to Portland for major upset, but then his flight got canceled. So I was like, well, fuck it, let's hang out. And then we went, got some overrated ramen in LA, and then he came over and we played for like 5 hours, 5 straight hours, and I was just like, this is fucking awesome. Like it's so much fucking fun. And last time I saw him, or last time he and I played, was at Double Down. We Marth Dittoed on the same setup for like 4 hours straight, and it was like a similar kind of vibe. Like we're just fucking grinding.
That's awesome. So
I
you
love
marked
that.
it
I
the
love that.
entire time this past time though, because I'd be wondered if you'd be tempted to
No,
bring out the Falcon and that kind of thing.
no. We did Marth Dittoes for about like 2-3 hours, and then like the rest was like doing Iron Man. So that was fun.
Nice. That's
I should
cool.
have recorded some, but I even deleted the. Oh no, there were no files.
No,
But
no,
yeah,
yeah,
I
you were saying I'm just not going to stream it. You're like, I kind of want to,
yeah.
but I'm not gonna.
No, what's funny is like this is something I realized that I missed a lot. Like when I like got to hang out with Zane, like there's a good amount of like catching up. How are you feeling about getting signed? Yada yada. And then like after about an hour of hanging out, I'm like straight up like I'm like interrogating him. I'm like, what do you think of this player? What do you think of that player? Like, what do you think of Coder's recovery? What do you think of your recovery? Things like that. I'm like, what do you think this player's missing? How do you do this? And like I'm just picking his brain, totally nerding the fuck out, like at dinner just talking about melee shit the whole time. There's like that meme, I think, where people are like, oh, like it's so fucking lame to like be hanging out with smashers, and they start talking about like frame data and shit. I was like, no, like I spent this whole time talking about like I am gonna spend all my time to talk about melee, because like out of all the players in the world, Zane and I like have a very strong connection because like we've helped each other a lot in like matchups and like in the pro smash grind. And like after not seeing him for a while, like I need to see what he's up to. I desperately have to know. And so it was just fucking awesome, man.
And I think Zane is one of those players that you don't often get to. I don't want to criticize Zane for not going all the way in on content or streaming. I don't think that's a fair criticism to make. I just know that he
Okay.
takes playing Melee seriously enough
Oh yeah.
that being an entertainer or engaging with chat not at the top of the list of priorities. Meanwhile, Hungrybox might
Yeah.
be playing grand finals and reading chat half the time because that's Hungrybox. So
Yeah.
he could
It's
do that.
different. Different.
Yeah, it's different. And so when you get a chance to connect with somebody like that specifically, where you might not be able to by proxy or through the internet see where they are or kind of make a read, if you will. And this is not someone that you came up with in when you were coming up in Melee. Zane
Oh,
was
not at
not
all.
he was not even close to being a thing and
No,
wasn't
he's
playing
cool
Melee
as fuck.
and is in an MDVA and you're out on West Coast out in NorCal. So this is someone, of course, I would absolutely understand. It'd be like if I were next to Munder, who I had on the show one time, but if I was next to Munder again, I'd be going, what's good, because I just don't get the chance. Like, it's just cross coast. It's hard
Yeah.
to talk to somebody like that on a regular basis.
For sure. And like another great thing about him is he's also just like a hilarious dude. And we've always had like funny moments, and like it's always good to like relive those like little stories and whatnot.
How did you feel? So I do have a few more questions about NorCal Classic 2. How did you feel
Okay.
about it being an invitational format? I mean, I think that was a decision that Brandon made pretty early on in the process, that it was going to be an
Yeah.
invitational as compared to everybody just show up. Let's see who wants to come across from whoever, wherever to get the chance to play PewFab, because it was you and three other teams. That was
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
a little sad or a little happy about that process.
I mean, all but one of the teams that I wanted to play was there. Um, I really wanted to play Silent Spectre and Tang, but Tang did not make it. But I still got to play Dark Atma and Ralph, and then Johnny and Shroomed, SJ and Shroomed. So to me, like that didn't take away from the tournament. Maybe like having one more round would have been like it would have felt more like a double elim tournament, but like it didn't really matter to me. To talk about like it being invitational versus open, it helped me a lot because like I feel like I could lose to any Sheik player, lose to any Puff player, lose to like almost any Fox player at this point, which is funny because I went 6-0 against Sheik at the tournament, get fucked one, and yeah, so I surprised myself in that regard. But like being invitational, big plus for me.
Big plus for you. Well, I would
Yeah,
especially love seeing that it was against Stream, because I remember vaguely in our like a first go around, you talked about the fact that Shroom kind of came in a little bit after you and SFAT, after you and Zach were already a thing in NorCal, and just going like, why is this person so good at this game? And you maybe had some moments, some arcs where it was like hard to beat Shroom. So I'm sure it was kind of nice to go and just a little and there we go, 3-0. Let's go.
yeah, absolutely. Playing with him, like I wanted to avoid him, Spark, and Ralph. I ended up having to play both Dewan and Ralph. But it's funny. I don't know if there's a bracket that was posted. I'm sure there is a public bracket, but if someone had beaten Ralph, then so I got fifth place in the tournament. So losing to Ralph, I get fifth. If I had beaten Ralph and for the fourth place match, I'd have had to fight Shroomed again. Just 3 of them. It's reasonable to say I could make it to top 3. For third place, I would have to fight Johnny. And Johnny, Falcon, is my best matchup right now in my current state.
Yes.
So I feel good about my chances against Johnny. And if I had beaten Johnny, then I fight Zach. And who knows what the fuck is going to happen. I mean, Zach beat me 3-1 in the tournament, but who knows? You know. By the way, my favorite. I'm sorry, you're probably gonna have to cut this out, but my old Counter-Strike team, 3 of the girls that went to Valorant just played in their online match and qualified for the main event for them.
That's so cool. Let's go.
That's fucking awesome. I had to
We
point that
can't
out.
cut that out. We have to keep that in. We gotta
Okay.
celebrate. That's a big dub. I love that. I love how excited you get about because like this is what I'm talking about. The people commenting on your different posts in the past couple of days and just going like, Kevin, you were such a real one. You made me feel welcome. You made me feel seen. Like that. Those kind of comments, like that's you. So that's perfect. I want to
I
definitely
appreciate it. You know,
keep that
and
in.
so going back to like the last day of my employment, I had to get in a call with all of my players, like Greg and I and Summer, who's my manager. We all got in a call with all my players and met with the different teams to tell them what was happening. And like that goodbye was fucking horrible. Like, but something that I told all of them is like, yes, like I'm no longer a manager, but like I am gonna be your fan until the day I die. Like wherever you go, whatever the fuck you do, you could quit tomorrow and go become a janitor or some shit, and I'm your number one fan. Like I don't care, do whatever, and I love all of you. And so like seeing my old Counter Strike team that I used to manage, those 3 girls qualify for the main Valorant event, fucking amazing.
That's so cool. Where is the final? Okay, I don't know anything about Valorant, so just explain to me. Is that going to be played in a place like a big city like Chicago, New York, or something?
No, so this is first the this is the women's scene, and they do an online tournament, and then the winners of like that online tournament get to qualify for a LAN. I think that one is like I forget where it is. It's some European country, I think.
Well, okay, that's
Yeah,
even more cool. I was just thinking,
yeah, it's
probably
cool.
go to somewhere in the U.S. That's cool. Okay, even better. Get to go to Europe.
Yeah,
Get to play some land Valorant. Let's go. That's so
it's
cool.
fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so happy for them. Because I wasn't sure if they were gonna make it. It was a close one, but they did it.
Let's go. Playing with some of that, some of that. Hey, let's just burn the ships. Let's make this happen. I love that.
It's cool. I love being a manager coming formerly as a player because I feel like I can understand them like so much better. And
Absolutely.
like when they lose, like it I understand their pain, you know. It's like very important. Like
Yes. Oh
I
my
I
gosh.
think I think trauma bonding with people is like a very real thing. And
Yes.
like losing in tournaments that you dedicate your life to can be like extremely traumatizing, you know? And just being able to like connect in that way is like always been important to me.
Okay, so you know how Melee players always complain about people coming up to them after they lose, after they get second in a heartbreaker, it's
Yeah.
going like, "Leave me alone! I don't need you trying to get a picture right now." You're like the probably like a top 10, top one person to understand exactly how to connect with somebody in that moment, and I would also say Toph as well, but just based on he talked a little bit about him and Nunn finding Zayn after Summit 11 Grand Finals was over and just trying to be there, not so much say a ton of stuff, but just be there, make sure that Zayn knows like, okay, we're behind you, we support you. Like it sucks that what happened. I mean, how do you feel the best way to like what's the first thing that you say? Because for me, I don't like if I see a friend in a local and there's 16 competitors and we all know each other and they're really upset that they lost, and then what do I say? I don't always know how to start. How do you start if you're going up to someone after they just lost? Or do you say, you know what, no, not right away, give them a few minutes or however long? How do
There's
you
usually
start that?
3 tactics that I have. Um and it all depends on the person. So the first one with just words is just to tell them like, you know, essentially that they had they tried and, you know, it was a good try. you can put that in like as many different words as you want. You know, good try, you did great, yada yada. Some people hate hearing you did great. Um, just depends. Uh, Another can be you don't need to say shit. You just go give them a hug. You know, some people like just need to like get a good cry out and then hug someone, and then then they can like breathe and like exist in the moment again. And then the other one is just like, do you need anything right now? And then give them space. You know, most people, at least for like the Counter Strike teams that I go with, I've actually witnessed like uh, an immense fucking heartbreaker for a tournament that we were the favorites to win, and we did not, and we won like on home turf, and like it was like the most epic match. Like I don't know if you've ever watched professional Counter Strike before, but like it's like where people are cheering for like the smallest thing. Like you do 30 damage to someone, and people are like cheering in the crowd, and like people are just like roaring about every little move. Um, and we lost that tournament, and it was so difficult, so difficult to deal with those five girls and the coach also, who all had the expectation to win, and it just like all shatters, you know. Um, and just having to deal with like post loss for all that was an experience in itself. But oddly enough, that was like one of the things that I look most fondly back to in my time at CLG, despite it being a heartbreaker. Uh, and I think it's always just because I got to like connect with those girls. By the way, the three girls that I was talking about were on that team that got the heartbreaker loss.
And you get a chance to run it back again in the finals that are coming up whenever. That's you're willing to get back into it. That's super cool. You don't just let that be the end of it. You know that it's going to be really bad for a while, especially fresh off. But then
Yeah,
you look back, and like you were saying just now, you remember it and you go, that was just as meaningful as other quote unquote successful moments. I don't know if I've heard a lot of Eagles players say they look back on losing to the Chiefs this past February in any sort of fond way just yet.
yeah.
Maybe after they win another big game, but
It's
like you have to go through those scenarios where you're up by double digits and then you lose in the last minute, and it's all kinds of different things that you have to just say, I carry this now, most likely for the rest of my life. So when we were talking about connecting with that team after losing a tournament that you're supposed to win, you know what that feels like for yourself. Like you were saying, you're remembering and pulling on the experiences of when you and SFAT, or even if it was just yourself, expecting yourself, oh, I'm seeded to top 8 and I didn't top 8, or me and SFAT, we're seeded to win this tournament because we've won so many in a row as PewFat, and then the streak ends, and you know, and you remember those times. That's what allows you to be able to connect so well, and you're also you're connecting in a way that matters to the person as compared to copy paste. You played
yeah,
great. I don't want to hear I played great when I just lost. Yeah, I'm
for sure.
probably like the exist
Give
next
us
to
space
me,
kind of guy.
exist next to me, maybe a hug, but just exist with me for a little bit, because it doesn't feel as bad when I know that somebody's just kind of nearby and saying, without saying it, you did great.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're like a big fan of like the Eagles. Uh, Being a fan, like you can kind of only remember the wins fondly, but like when you're on the team, like I think every experience is like pretty special, at least to me. Um, so a few things like for this CS team, like our time was like cut very short. We're in the middle of a season actually, and like I've offered to like still manage the team despite like being paid nothing, and like a lot of people in my life like don't understand. Like they're like, you shouldn't work for free, you shouldn't be doing these things, you should be trying to like get paid, it's not worth your time. But like at a certain point, like when you're on the team, I'm not a player on the team, but like I'm very much on the team. Like there's no like getting off. And like we might get destroyed, and like that's how it goes. But like it's just one of those things that like I want to see till the end.
That's so cool, dude. That's why, that's like, again, why everybody is making sure to let you know on the timeline how much they appreciated you at CLG. Oh my gosh. We got into Melee enough. I just wanted to make sure that I told you watching you in singles and in doubles is always a treat. So thank you for that. And these clips that keep coming up on the timeline, that's probably the last question that I had for you is how you think your relationship with Melee will look like, even if, and I've heard you say it a couple of times, just concentrating on the tournament coming up, and then it goes and it passes by, and you go, now what? You might still be in the now what stage because you're now what-ing about so much right now.
Oh,
But
for sure.
if you could think about what your relationship with Melee looks like in the next week or in the next year, take your pick. What would you say is a healthy balance that you want to strive for? Because I'd imagine you'll play, but I don't think you want to play like so much to disrupt what you feel is more important, focusing on the next steps for career and maintaining a healthy balance of other activities, connecting with people, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, so my relationship with Melee. First, before I talk about playing, I think I want to talk about social aspect. I think the social aspect is so important to me. I've come to realize, like, as I've like taken a lot of time away, how like close that like fraternity of like top players really is, and how like I can instantly connect with those people again, like the moment I see them, you know. And so like in that regard, excuse me, I'm gonna keep on going to events. Like I'm gonna constantly be going to events still. Like Genesis, Evo. I know it's not a Smash event, but the big ticket ones. Um, and I'm not gonna stop doing that. When it comes to playing though, I very much am still in the midst of what the fuck do I do now? Uh, in many aspects of my life, as you said, and playing is one of them. But so that's just, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's a big question mark. But what I have been thinking about doing is starting up the PewPewU University videos again. Um, and I was actually just going to drop a ton of those like a bomb, like 4 in a day, or 4 in like 4 days.
I love that.
I've already like scripted them, and like I know exactly what I want to do with them. But like long term, like I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to do. Like, because for a while, I know we've talked about this. I was thinking about starting my own podcast. And then I was also thinking about like doing like short form content like on TikTok and shit, or sticking to the YouTube stuff. But the like answer to that aspect is I also what I do know about like Smash in my whole life is that like I need it to like still be there. Like I'm so ingrained in it, and it's like such a big part of me. Like to deny that like aspect of my life and like my past would be like shooting myself in the foot, And so like I need it in my life.
In some capacity, yeah, you like an artist, a guitar player saying, I gotta play the guitar in some way. Maybe I don't play it on a band and gig 6 or 9 months out of the year and only get a 3-month break. Maybe I don't do that, but maybe I teach guitar, or maybe I do a couple of covers on YouTube,
or maybe it's like I go to my friends' shows or something like that.
Yeah, you definitely go to friend shows, but they go, yo, Kevin, you want to come up here and play? And you go, ah, shucks, I just, maybe just like all of a sudden you just got it. I don't think anybody will necessarily put pressure on you to do Thug finals at another regional in NorCal.
I would just say no, it's okay.
Or you could do the Isaiah move, go up there and just like dash dance for 4 minutes on the stage and do nothing.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't waste people's time. I wouldn't waste anyone's expectations. anything like that. I'm surprised you know about that. That's like
Oh, that's from the
that's like
doc though. It's not fair.
oh
If it's in the doc,
okay
it kind of sticks. Yeah.
okay. I was about to say because I was in the room for like
What? You were in the
that is
room.
very old lore. I was like Jesse, I didn't know you knew about that.
It was in the doc, but can we talk
Okay,
about that? Do you remember more than the fact that you were there, or does that day just kind of blurry? Because it would
it's
make
pretty
sense.
blurry.
Yeah.
I don't know what event, what year it was. What was it, Apex or something
I
like
think it
that?
might have been Apex 2012, but I can't remember for sure.
Yeah. I think I remember being in that ballroom. Uh, yeah, they got him on stage, and it was so fucking underwhelming. And everyone is just like, what the fuck is he doing? Myself included. I love Isaiah.
Mhm.
Isaiah is actually like my team's idol for the longest time. Like, and even though like my pedigree is like much larger than his, like I don't think you can ever like really outgrow your idols. And so, watching him like essentially like flounder around on stage was depressing, but it was one of the most like Isaiah things that you.
That's crazy. You probably haven't watched the documentary in how many years, but you almost verbatim quoted Prague in that segment. That's so cool. Like
Really.
what you just said right now is kind of the quote that Prague delivered while talking about it. He said,
Wow.
in a way, he's like, in a way, that was as Isaiah as you're gonna get. Like
Oh
it's
my god.
that's crazy. It's just little
What the
melee circle moments. There's melee circle moments happening right now.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Shout outs to Prague, man.
You're talking about how you don't ever outgrow your idols, and I like that
Uh-huh.
idea. I'm interested in hearing, and that this isn't directly related because it's tough to find a team that is as good in the static way as you and PewFat were at your peak,
Hmm.
especially. But there are a few teams. I mean, Plup and Hungrybox literally have a bounty for the next three
I
majors.
know.
Just take a game off of them. I don't think it's take a set. I think it's literally take a game. I
Are
think.
you sure?
Or maybe take a set. Sure. You know what? I'll back it up.
Okay.
Edwin put out a
Okay.
bounty. It's either take a game or take a set. But it's funny because Hungrybox, I have so many thoughts as like an outsider because I've never talked to Hungrybox about anything other than politely telling him, no, this is not your pool. Your pool is over there at Genesis. But anyway,
Uh,
the I'm talking about how yes, Edwin puts out the bounty and says this is the team to beat right now. And then I also see Tafo saying it'd be so cool because Plup is kind of, you know, Plup is the reason why that team's amazing. Love to see Plup and Kevin team up in a future time, that kind of thing. Who do you?
oh yeah, you saw that.
Yeah, I do follow Tafo, right? I keep switching
Tafo,
back and
yeah.
forth. My bad.
I always say Tafo though.
Shouts out. I love the food that he makes for dinner for his wife that
Oh
he
my
posted.
god,
Yeah.
I just want to be his wife so bad.
So basically trying to ask, what do you think about either the bounty or what do you think about at some point teaming up with somebody just because you might be willing to light the fire in 2 years for Genesis 11. Maybe I'll just do that. Like, does that sound appealing at all, or do you just go, no, I don't really want to do that. I'd rather just team with SFAT if I team with him at all in the near future.
I'm done teaming with anyone but SFAT. I will only team with SFAT. And
Let's go.
that is my soulmate. I'm only going to team with other people for money matches,
Okay.
or if there is like I don't know, if Brandon organizes like a doubles show match. Pretty much like no one can get me to do any appearances or any tournaments or anything like that unless it's Brandon. Like he's pretty much the only one. Brandon or Genesis staff, aka Bobak and Sheridan. Like they're pretty
Right.
much the only ones who can make me do anything. Um,
That's a very big
and
homie thing to say. That's awesome.
oh yeah, because they are the biggest. About the bounty though, I love the bounty. I fucking love it. Do I think anyone's gonna do it? I think there's only one team, and I think it's JMook and Cody. But other than that, like there's a lot of static teams, but I don't think any of them are like strong enough to beat Hungrybox and Plup in my eyes, just from watching them in like the few tournaments that I have.
You did
Like
great commentary with everyone for the the Genesis 9 top 4, excuse me.
At Genesis, they were fucking destroying everyone. Like it was not close. And when I was like in my doubles heyday, like Hungrybox was like not hitting rest like that. Maybe that's because people knew how to like play around like the Hungrybox team. Maybe that's because he was teamed with Chudat and not like a Fox player. But regardless, like it was a big surprise. I saw that Zuppy had said something on Twitter about like it's crazy that everyone gets so good, but like the doubles golden era was 5 years ago, and like things have like regressed. And I'm inclined to agree. I think like the baseline skill is like much higher. I don't know if I could go and win a tournament because like I honestly don't know if I could beat Jmook or Cody in a 1v1 in doubles. So like I'm not sure if I could win. But in terms of like the strength of teams themselves, I would hope that like the linearness of someone's skill and the team skill would, meet somewhere. But, the team's skill in general is much lower. That's a roundabout way of me answering how the bounty shit is going to play out. But I'm going to go ahead and predict that no one gets it.
I love that. I also love that there's like a little deadline on it. I think that makes it exciting. With
Yes,
keeping
because it's only 3 tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe at the next tournament, Cody Jmook are not there, and so then there's only 2 tournaments left, or maybe it's a 2-day tournament, and so Cody Jmook don't enter. That's why Cody Jmook didn't enter at Major Upset in doubles. Well, I guess Jmook wasn't there.
Yeah, that would be the other reason.
But Cody didn't enter doubles because it's a 2-day, and he doesn't want to jam pack his Saturday.
Very understandable. I mean, that was a big turn. Yep.
But he did win the event, so
big shouts out. I mean, you won the first and last. Yeah, I did see that. The first and the last CLG doubles appearance for Melee,
yes,
and then
which is interesting because Cody and Jmook did win the doubles event, but the NorCal Classic just happened to be scheduled after that. So I ended up getting the first doubles tournament we've ever got on CLG and the last. So shout outs to me.
What do you remember about that first one? Because I couldn't tell you what it is. I did not Nardwar that in advance. So do you remember the first one?
By the way, good use of the verb. Good use of the Nardwar verb. Let's see. First tournament that was won with CLG. If I'm saying the first tournament in general, I don't remember. But if it's the first like SFAT PewPewU CLG, like where Zach is on the team as well, it was whichever one is right after Smash Summit 1. I forget what it is, but yeah, I know. Because a big reason why Zach got signed to the team was in Smash Summit 1. I don't know if you're able to like edit a clip into this podcast, but like you should show the people like the 2v1 comeback he has on Mewtwo King and Armada. He 2v1s the 2 like best players in the world at a time where he could not come close to beating them in singles. And he beat them 1 versus 2 to win the tournament. It was like the most like poetic thing I'd ever seen as his teammate.
Okay, yeah. Wait, no, that's doubles analysis. Come on, I want to see the actual
doubles
match.
Analysis here. I bet you I could pull it up. Let me see. Let me try to work my magic here. So we'll do Smash Summit. That's
that's not grand finals. Where'd it go? Because then there's other things that are popping up here as well.
I'm already on the timestamp. That's where I paused my game or paused my video here. I'll show it to you.
There we go. Yeah, I'll definitely. Oh no, we could just do it now because I can do the screen where we're like looking at it like simultaneously.
Okay.
So
here, check it out. I just DM'd it to you.
So let me pull this up because I think this is worth having because I'm not sure if
Totally.
I. Oh, sweet. Okay, you do have it timestamped.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to full screen this. I want this to be full screen, so then I can go to.
Oh, this is perfect. I
Yep.
can't wait to fucking watch this.
Yep, and I want to screen share it with you as well. So I need to actually pull over the Discord so that I can screen share it with you first, so that we can both watch this.
Okay.
Yep.
I love this.
This is gonna be so cool. So go live there. So you should have that in front of you, and
All
then
right,
I
I'm here.
want to make sure the people can see it. So let me make us smaller on this screen in OBS, and then I can insert display capture. Okay, capture there, and move that to the bottom so that we pop up here. Okay, so
Okay, so here, before you even start, can the people see this?
yes, the people can see it
Okay.
now. Yep.
Okay, good. Before you even start, there's Armada there on the left. Music King, who's on it. I think it was called like COG Esports or some shit.
Yeah, I
SFAT
see.
is
I see
literally
COG. Yeah.
yeah, something like that. SFAT is wearing a black V-neck because he's unsponsored, and I'm wearing my CLG thing. So this is 2015 before I think 2016. I forget when this happens, but it's before any like PewFat or anything like that. And this is game 5 of Grand Final.
All right, let's get into it.
If Zach.
Yeah, so I'm at super high percent.
Smash the eye.
And like, I think I get clipped here.
Alright.
Yeah. So SFAT's only at 7. Both these players could die to up smash. So he like is fighting for center and barely makes it, and just look how scared they are. They both don't know what to do, dude.
They don't know what to do.
They're both on the
He's
ledge.
gonna explode.
This is
You're
crazy,
remembering
dude.
the commentary as well. That's awesome.
Oh my god.
He's oh my god. Yeah, he's walling both players. They're like top 5 players. Double shine gets the kill.
Oh no. Oh my, can he get?
And then when Armada finally gets out of the corner, I'm so scared.
So
I'm like, oh my
nervous,
god.
dude.
Armada's gonna clutch it.
What?
What a grab!
Oh,
He looks
dude.
so nervous.
Fuck, yes, Zach. Okay. Wait, let's go back a little bit.
Okay,
Go back
going
about
back.
20 seconds. No, not that far back.
Oh no.
This is fine.
Okay.
Can he get?
So he gets hit onto the ledge here, and he tries to ledge dash, and Randall's right there, or he tries to back air, and Randall's right there, and he actually gets a short hop back air onto the stage. Go back again a little bit,
Yep.
and like it totally trips up Armada. Like he's not ready for it. Like he suddenly like has to put his shield up, and he gets the grab that way. So it's very lucky. It's very fucking lucky that the cloud appeared under his feet to give him a short hop to continue pressure. It's a crazy moment, dude.
That's so cool that there's a solid 20 seconds of SFAT just being in the middle of the stage and just saying, "Come and get me." Like, I love that. It
Yeah,
was not
dude.
just like, there's like certain moments that are just so fast, it's hard to assign a narrative to it. But literally, that was 20 seconds. He's just
I know.
holding center and just holding them at bay. It's like, I don't know. It's like one of those memes where it's the tall boss character and there's SFAT down below as the slightly smaller protagonist going,
Yeah.
"Come and get me." That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Can I share one more clip with you actually?
Let's go. Yeah, I got it. Let me pull up
I'll
Discord
link
so
it
I
over
can.
to you.
Yep, you do that. I
So-
think that's the way we do this.
I've been drafting like my whatchamacallit. I've been drafting essentially like a big blog post to like recap like a whole bunch of shit. And in that blog post, I talked about how like my biggest contribution to Melee was my Hungry Box set in 2015. That's when I like did the pivots and shit. That's like, when like I beat Hungry Box at like a major, made it really far, and it's not even like a top 3 moment for me. My
Mm.
top 3 moment is here. Right here. So this is the Big House 6 doubles. It's PewFat against Armada and Android. And this was our first time ever meeting each other in a bracket. And this is when we are like pretty much the number one team in the US. Like there's an argument that you could say we're not, but we pretty much are. And Armada and Android are the number one team in Europe, undisputably. They come to the North America, they beat North American teams, but we had never played them. They just got signed to why is the name eluding me?
No, you're right. It's because I keep wanting to say UGS because that's not it. No,
Yeah.
no, not me too. I'm really bad at remembering names though, so that is like that's my excuse. Sorry. Just gonna
But yeah,
I'm hiding behind you, Kevin. I'm sorry.
It's way worse for me. Trust me. It's not on you. I competed against these guys. This is on me. Alliance. I had to Google it. But yeah, this was like our first time ever meeting in bracket, and like we had prepped so much for this moment, and it was just fucking awesome. And I linked it from a time where it's very neck and neck, and like my favorite moment is essentially just when we started to like break away.
Yeah,
So,
this is
you can go
actually
ahead.
really, really close. Stock same percents, not exactly the same, but this is really tight here. And this is game 5, and you're on the winner's side, so you obviously don't want to reset. You want to finish this right now. So
Yeah, also
that's
another thing is like Zach and I both feel that if it resets, Armada's gonna like fucking steamroll us because he's just that kind of guy. I don't know. Like he has the 11th gear.
Yeah, don't give Armada more time to figure you out. Yeah.
as we get more tired and he gets stronger, it's just not going to work out. And another thing, reason why I love this so much is throughout the set, there were PewFat chants, USA chants, and CLG chants. This was like the first and maybe the last time I really felt like a very, very strong national pride as well as a very strong org-to-org pride, because this was like CLG versus Alliance, and that's why this is like such a dope moment. You could go ahead and play it.
And this is also after the Big House 5. That was a very big tournament for Armada and Android. So this is like, they're trying to go for back-to-back.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Percents are very even.
Still close.
So, neither team is able to like break away.
Oh, what a forward set.
Yeah, and then finds that moment, and it's just awesome from here.
Oh, PewPewU's going in. PewPewU's going in.
What a B.
Oh, then I kill Zach. But I get the ledge barely here, and I find this grab for the win. Android stops it, but the pressure is like insane right now. And we get him. And like suddenly the even game like just became this like in like 20 seconds,
Oh, what an up smash.
And that was like the start of our rivalry. Like our very first time meeting, like we barely get him, and that was like such a big moment. Like this is my favorite moment of my whole career. And it's not close either. Like beating Hungry Box, nowhere close to this. This is like my favorite moment. That's fucking awesome, dude.
That was so cool. I just like there's all these little moments. This is amazing Melee to watch as well. It's unfortunate that you can't just like roll through the whole thing, but that's what a possible future. Sounds like there are some PewPew University videos out there. Are any of them related to do with doubles, or is it mostly just more stuff?
I don't think so. I don't know if there's the appetite for doubles. Maybe it might be too much task for me to just make people interested in doubles.
No, you can't. It's tough. There's a reason why Edwin put a bounty on it, because it's just going like yeah. Dude, make it interesting. Put money on it, and then you've also still got stuff from back in the day. Like PewPew University is evergreen. I feel like, despite how things have changed,
Yes.
Like you said,
I know.
like surprised. You said, it's evergreen.
I'm really surprised. When I made those, I thought they would be outdated in like a year and a half, like max, and like people are still doing it. In fact, like I just tweeted about one recently because like I'm fighting a bunch of Marths online who don't know how to recover properly. And I'm like, dude, I have a video on this. Like I came out 6 years ago. Like go watch it, you know?
A lot of those
So it is what it is.
players may not have been paying attention to Melee back then. I mean, a fair amount of them, hopefully.
For sure. Do you know the player Ingen from
Yeah,
Japan? He
yeah,
went
over
to
in Japan, yeah.
yeah, he took the game off Mango at Summit.
Mm-hmm. Or was that the Ludwig Smash Invitational? Was it that
Something
tournament?
like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We're hoping to. I'm seeing that AMSA wants Ingen out to Gommel. That would be so cool if Ingen could go
That'd
to
be
Gommel.
cool.
Super cool.
But anyways, that player has, excuse me, I have been retired longer than that player has been playing. That's fucking crazy. The other thing is, I sat down next to him, so he's sitting there with Kodorin. They're doing a little Marth dittos. You know, they're bonding as being Marth brothers. And of course, I got to get in on that. So I sit down and I'm like, hi, I'm Kevin. And he says, hi, I'm Ingen. Or I forget if he said his real name. And then Kodorin, it's like, do you know who this is? And he's like, no. Like, okay, that's fucking cool, man. And he's like, this is PewPewU. And he's like, oh my God, like, oh wow, like I was like, this dude doesn't know what I look like. That's crazy. Like he's heard of me, but he didn't even know what I looked like. I'm like, dude, damn, like it really is a new generation of players. It's fucking crazy.
So a few videos probably wouldn't hurt. Maybe there you should is a strong word. Maybe there's just someone out there who will eventually make a nice little cut up of CLG era stuff, which will obviously include plenty of moments for you, moments for PewFat as well. That would be super cool to see at some point. I don't know whose quote unquote job that's going to be, but a CLG like best moments would very obviously feature the two of you. It would include Big House 6 Grand Finals, and then you had shared the Summit 2-1 comeback. Was there one other moment that had exceeded the Hungry Box win? Because you were saying the Hungry Box wasn't even top 3, and we've done 2 clips. Do you got time for one more, or do you want to keep that? Do you want to keep that behind the blog wall? Because you could keep it behind the blog wall if you want.
You know, I'm not sure what the third is, but like the Hungry Box moment is probably not even like top 5 to be honest. So like, I know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You've lived a lot of Melee. That's so cool. I would be like, I just cling to that.
I know. What I was saying is like the way that the world sees the Hungry Box set is like very like revolutionary, and I can't lie that it very much was. But like to me, I think it kind of gets soured by the fact that I didn't get top 8 at the event. Like I lost right after that, pretty much. But like, I don't know. I don't know. It's tough for me, man. Like it's probably some doubles tournament that would be like in the top 3. Like I think all 3 of my favorite moments are doubles moments. Here, I'll try to share you one that I remember very fondly because it's fucking hilarious, but I'm not sure if it's on here, let me see. I don't want to give too many clues about what it is. Just give me a moment.
No worries, no worries. The other thing that I will say, shouts out to SFAT, of course, left CLG a few months ago, so sad about that. But then also shouts out to Bobby Siege. I read Bobby's thread on all of this stuff as well, on CLG stuff as well, and it's just so cool. It like how long those kind of relationships can go for in a working relationship, but it almost doesn't even feel like that because of the friendship that's there that y'all got to have for such a long time. And it just is really sad that it has to come to the end that it did. But shouts out to Bobby C, shouts out to SFAT.
Yeah, definitely. I think the general sentiment was that like it just ended way too quick. And we had so much cool shit that we were trying to do. Like we were on our way to like marrying like the FGC content with the Smash players, and, like get everyone involved, like mix audiences, like do that.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
I know. And we had all those. We brought in 2 new Smash players. So, fuck, man. It sucks. Okay, I sent you a clip. I sent you a funny one. This is a really good one. I don't think I sent at the right. Oh wait, no.
We're 22:33 seconds in.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, let me make sure we are.
Audio is important.
Audio is important.
Audio is very important for this.
All right, I'm gonna bump it up so that we can definitely, because I had it at like you can kind of hear, but I wanted your voice to come through more. But I have it dominating more now. Let me switch this over so that everybody can check this out.
Yeah. So for context, the crew battle. Sorry, Big House would always run crew battles. So I think this was the last time that they did it. And I believe this was 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. And the 1 and 2 seeds are SoCal and Florida. And NorCal is, way more scrappy of a team. Still obviously fucking amazing. But more scrappy of a team. And I'll just let the clip play because it's one of my favorites.
All right, let's roll.
We shall see.
Either way, yeah, so I'm going in against Mango's 1 stock.
Taking what, like 6?
Yeah, Mango's taken like 6 stocks, 7 stocks.
Yeah, like SoCal does have the lead, and I think on paper, like, we'll see what happens. Mango Lucky Westballs versus PewPewU Rocky does sound like it should be good for
SoCal. Right?
That's the match.
Wait, was that it? I definitely thought the hand warmers were still
So
happening.
slap, dude. Just look at my reaction.
There it is. PewPewU takes out Mango.
Dude, it's so
like
good.
reverse laser, and he like went off stage by accident. PewPewU just grabbed the ledge, dude.
Oh
It's so good. Yeah, see, there's Rocky. He's shouting me out
To win it, man.
for just taking it.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude.
And so after this, what happens is
PewPewU
I end up
taking out
taking
Mango
like
and
10
ending
fucking
their-
stocks.
Yeah.
Like after this, SoCal just starts crumbling. Like they put Joey in next against me because they know I'm gonna destroy Westballs. I get in there and like I demolish him. Like I think I die like once. Yeah, I'm just skipping through it. Yeah, I only die once. And then they have to put Westballs in against me.
Mm-hmm.
And I bring him like to last stock, I think, something like that. It was fucking amazing, dude. Yeah. Oh my god, good fucking times, dude. And there's a guy on Twitter. I'll try to pull up the tweet where someone says like, hey dude, like I understand this is a competition, but like what you did is like really fucking lame. And like I was like, this guy understands nothing. All I did was like highlight the part where he said like, I understand this is a competition, and I pasted it back to him. I was like, I spotted the lie. It's just like it's such a good moment, dude. I love all that shit. There's so many fun moments in Melee. And that's also why, like, if I run into someone who was there for that, like, hey, you remember when that happened? And like, you just get to relive it. That's why I'm saying like that fraternity of players is like so dear to me.
And that'll always be a thing. I think it was beyond a long time ago that I think everybody realized this is just going to be a part of who I am for literally the rest of my life. I mean,
100%.
I wish I could have been around sooner and more and that kind of thing. But the way that I think of it now, the fact that we have people who are in my region who are throwing together events because they have the bandwidth to be able to do that, and I'm so thankful for it, and showing up and saying it's so cool to have all this. I'll carpool. I'll do what I got to do. Tomorrow I'm going to Short Hops, which shouts out to Gene Dalla, has had a bunch of Melee artists put like, okay, make designs for beer cans, and it's like it's like a specific flavor that Gene Dalla like helped produce it, and it's crazy just to see Melee art on a beer can. That's gonna be so
dope.
cool. So
You got to send me a picture. when you
Yeah.
go. Like if you encounter those beer things, you gotta
Oh,
send me a
well,
picture.
I pre-ordered a 4-pack, so that will be going up
Ooh.
onto the timeline. I don't
Cool.
normally drink beer. I don't know if I'll have somebody else drink it and I just keep the cans, but I want to keep the cans because that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's like
Just don't open it.
that is a souvenir and a half right there. That is
Yeah.
so cool. So, yes, you will see pictures of those tomorrow.
Okay,
no
good.
doubt. Oh, it's so cool. So, and you just like you get to make those new memories, and hopefully, when 10 years go by, I'll say to somebody, "Were you were at Genesis 9? Yeah, do you remember J-Mook? Were you like, yeah, I was in this part of the crowd when J-Mook won his first Super Major." Like, hopefully that'll be a thing,
Yeah.
but it's still so fresh right now. That's okay. But it was such a pleasure. The last thing I wanted to say before we're done recording, because we've been at it for a while, and I don't want to hold you up for too much longer. I'm so sorry I didn't say hi to you or try to say hi to you at Genesis 9. I
Oh, it's okay.
just was so overwhelmed being there, but I also thought to myself, looking at you up there, and then I was like, well, Kevin's gonna walk away from that stage eventually, but I just don't want to be that person who's like, Kevin, over here.
I would have gave you a big fat hug, so you don't got to worry about that next time. But also I was like very much like I was either playing or hanging out with like the people I hadn't seen in forever.
Exactly,
So, like,
exactly.
It's no surprise that like I wasn't out there like meeting a whole bunch of people and saying hi to everyone.
Couldn't believe that Armada walked through the convention center. Like, I saw him do that a couple times and going, "You really want to do that in your in your jacket? Like, you are so easily recognizable even with the mask on." But shouts out, Armada seemed to be very nice, just stopping, signing stuff, taking
Definitely.
pictures of people.
So
cool.
I got to sit next to Armada.
Yeah.
For top 8, and we got to watch it together. And my girlfriend is a huge Armada fan girl. Like, her favorite player is Armada. I'm her second favorite, which is fucked up, but that is how it is.
That's messed up. Yeah,
it is messed up. But she's gone to tournaments with me before and whatnot. People come up to me. They say hi, big fan, etc., etc. But when you're next to Armada, that's like Smash royalty. Like, that's like real, and like, people are coming up to him like nonstop, saying all these kinds of things. Everyone has like the best things to say, like, to Armada, and she's like, "Oh shit, like, there's really like levels to this." Like, yeah, I'm not shit compared to this guy. Like, this guy's a legend.
I'm glad that we went so far out of our way as a community to welcome Armada back, though, because
Oh, definitely.
there was a minute there where I was like, we can't keep pushing this guy away. But that's such a cool, like, all of a sudden, I don't know if that was Sheridan or Ballback or both of them just going, we should just have Armada commentate at Genesis, and that's happening in 4 weeks, but we're just going to make it happen. I was like, I
don't know how they did it.
That's such a cool move.
Awesome.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Because no, I don't think they were planning on him coming out. It was like, I think Sheridan, in one of the replies to one of Armada's, I do not like the way that the Melee community's been treating me, and Sheridan being like, "You want to come and commentate at Genesis?" I think that was literally what I remember seeing on the timeline. I guess I have to go find it now, but that's what I remember seeing and going, "Whoa, that's such a big turnaround." But then Armada's like, "All right, send me a DM," and then all of a sudden Armada's at Genesis. It was so crazy.
And then it's also like, "Kevin, do you want to commentate with Armada?" It's like, "Oh, sure, fuck it." Like, count me in, dude. I can't say none of that.
It was so cool that you got to do a little bit of commentary because, you commentated for more than people give you credit for. People forget Genesis 2.
See, you are nardwiring me.
No, well, you gave me a hint the last time we talked, so that was cool.
Really?
It was cool to go back and hear, the young Kevin getting to commentate a little bit.
Still.
It was so
impressive,
cool.
Impressive, Jesse.
Once again, such a big pleasure to have you on. I want to make sure that you get a chance to say any other last things that you wanted to, and then where the people can find you. I know that you have so much swirling, and you don't have to deliver it eloquently. You can just be as honest as you want to be and say, this is just crazy, and my mind is in such a whirlwind still, and leave it at that. But I want to make sure you get a chance to do that, say whatever you want to say, and then roll out the red carpet, see if we can get some more people to follow you and your story.
Sounds good. Uh, shit. Well, actually, before I get into closing remarks, music.
Yes.
We gotta give the people. We gotta give the people what they want, and I'll link it to you. Okay, there's an artist. She's fucking amazing. Her name is Megumi Akorda. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
she has this amazing EP called Unexpectedly. You have to listen to it. It's a 4-song EP. Every song is fucking amazing. She just came out with an album called Silver Fairy. That's on all streaming services. I'm not paid to plug her or anything, but her music is so fucking good. This whole band is fucking amazing. I've listened to them for hours and hours while doing literally any activity. Everyone should go check it out. Like a lot of times I was giving you songs, I'm giving you a whole EP.
Oh no,
This
you
is-
gave me a few EPs, so that's
I did
great.
give you Miseducation. That's right. That's right.
Yep. Nope. Yes. Cool. I will definitely work with that. I can work with that for sure.
Cool. Yeah, everyone's got to check it out. You included, especially. Okay. Closing remarks. Shit. I mean, where to begin, man? I guess I'll just say, you know, I'm just proud. I'm just proud of all the shit that I've done with CLG. Really sad that it's come to a close and it's been so abrupt. I feel like I don't get to say like my proper goodbyes to everyone, but such is life, and that's how shit goes. And it's given me some perspective on like my working life and as well as like my career, but also just to not take some shit for granted. And so there's no like big message out to the world, but it's just that I've learned just in this 1 week, which has been a whirlwind of emotions, to just, when you got a good thing going, just hold on dearly to it and really like live it. And also, I don't know if any of my players who are like non-Smash will be able to find this, but if you're listening, I love all of you. As I said, your number one fan forever. You're all gonna do amazing fucking things, and wherever we end up, we're gonna fucking kill it. That's all I got.
I can make it the Twitter clip. You could just like the 10 seconds right there, because that's what probably matters the most. Just how much you need to make it clear to all these people. You're there with them 100%. I love that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be checking out Unexpectedly, which is very exciting. I love Kevin PewPewU toy music recommendations, and so does everyone, as they should. So thank you so much for that. And you made the time for this during this week, which I really appreciate. I did originally say we should give it a few weeks or however long you need, but you said no, let's do it. So I appreciate you. Well, yeah, and you didn't have to, is what I'm saying. So I really appreciate you saying let's just get into it. And for everyone listening, thank you all for listening. Let's see, I'm good to go. So watch more Melee support. I'm so glad I didn't forget this. Support CLG Red, even if it isn't exactly as it is now. This will be linked.
At Rule with Red.
This
on Twitter.
This will be linked for sure. You definitely want to follow, the Rule with Red Twitter. So this will be in the description below. Follow along. I dropped a follow today because I want to support, even by just engaging on social media, because that's what a lot of people care about for whatever reason. So if you have to do that a little bit, drop a like, drop a retweet, it helps tremendously. So you can even just do that. You can just go to the description below right now and tap that link, and you're off to the races. You're getting informed. So CLG Red forever.
Also follow and support our boy Jesse on the Patreon. And if nothing, just give him a little retweet. That's all. Nice
I appreciate
and simple.
that. I do appreciate that. I do. Yes, thank you. I will send you specifically, not the internet, but you specifically, Kevin, some kid pictures, because I've been full stay-at-home dad mode and adjusting hard to that. But you like, they are such a joy. So it's hard to realize, oh yes, I do love Melee podcasting as well. But I will be sure to send you a few pictures of the kiddos.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, before we go, you gotta give me a music recommendation.
A music recommendation? Okay, yes, because I wasn't necessarily. Well, is it
Did you
just
come
cliche?
prepared?
Is it cliche to say that I have been listening to long time nonstop since that Last of Us episode, where it was Bill and Frank's kind of
I
theme
haven't seen it.
Okay, well that's okay because you could just listen to the song and you'll still hear a story anyway because that's how most songs are. Long time. The singer. Oh, this is unfortunate. I looked up a bunch of versions to see which one was the best one. If I hear a new song, I can't help it. If I realize there are covers of it, I seek out the covers to see if one sounds better than the original. Because there are songs that you say to yourself, yeah, the cover's actually kind of better. But I will send you.
Send me.
I will send it to you. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's exactly right. I will find it. Send that to you. Send you pictures of the kids, and thank you so much for coming on, Kevin. Really appreciate it. It means
Of course,
a lot.
man. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Hopefully, when I get on next time, I'll have a job, and maybe this time I'll get on, and it won't just be an annual thing. Maybe we can make it in 6 months from now or something.
The future's very exciting. Appreciate you being so willing to hop on and share stories. It means a lot. Let's see.